Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Commodity TV and the new edition of our online interview series. We want to get an update from Heliostar Metals, and Charles Funk, the CEO, is here with us. Good morning to Canada. How are you, Charles?
Thank you for having me. I'm well.
Yeah, great to see you. Thank you very much for taking the time. Heliostar, you guys are really on the pathway to bring your project, the Ana Paula project, into production, which is great. You had already fantastic drill results, and now you guys brought out an updated mineral resource estimate, which I think worked very well, right? So please comment on that.
Yeah, so when we bought Ana Paula, which is only 10 months ago, it's
Yeah, it's
quite
crazy, isn't it?
surprising how quickly we've moved.
Yeah.
It was focused on an open pit, but we knew that there
Mhm,
was a spectacular core of high grade gold at the center of it. You know, we've consistently drilled 50 to 100 meter intercepts at 5 to
mhm,
15 grams gold. And we were able to show in November what that means for an underground focused resource. We doubled the grade of the measured and indicated.
mhm,
Now we're at 6.6 grams gold for 700,000 ounces and another
mhm.
450 inferred at 4.8. So about 300,000 additional ounces we added at very high grades to support
Mhm.
that resource.
Yeah, that sounds really great. And I saw also a connected zone of greater than 200,000 gold ounces, grading greater than the 10 grams gold per ton, which you alluded to, within the measured resource is in the high grade panel. And would help a lot for the initial or starting years of the mining. Where do you see also the potential, further potential in the high grade panel? Because I could imagine those are, let's call it, easy ounces. And at the start, to mine with over 10 grams per ton, I mean, that would be outstanding, right?
That's to answer your question in two parts. Yeah, to have a 200,000 ounce zone at better than 10 grams is a great
Hmm.
place to start the oil, especially when that's 50 meters wide. You know, it's not a small zone of that excellent grade. So that should have a huge impact to our ability to pay back the capex of
Hmm.
the mine very quickly. Then the resource is open. The high grade panel is open. The new parallel panel we found to the north is open. So we think with a follow up drill program, we should be able to target, over 1.5 heading towards 2 million ounces. So we think there's a lot of room to grow the high grade at Ana Paula above and beyond the resource we've just put out.
Fantastic. So that would easy do the payback of the capex then, right?
Precisely. No, it's unique for ore bodies to be this great overall over these widths, but that is
Mhm.
incredible what that could do for our payback.
Absolutely. And then especially with gold consistently now over $2,000, and maybe when you go in production, hopefully we are 2,200 or 2,300. That would be great, which we all pray for. So I could imagine the economics will be fantastic. Um, Not only to mention that you have also higher grades now, which is makes the economics even look better. But what are the plans now for 2024 to really move forward?
Yeah, so the obvious next step for us is to do a PEA on the updated resource. The project's unique in that it's had $100 million spent on it. It had a PFS completed on
Mhm,
the open pit.
mhm,
We've obviously invalidated that with our approach, so we'll show updated economics on the underground focus that we have. We've got a lot more drilling to do, as I said. The resource is open. We plan to just continue to expand that resource, which will lead to a resource update. There's
mhm,
probably one more resource update before we move to feasibility study next year. And then we're putting a lot of work right now into the potential to extend the decline. So the decline is down 400 meters. It was a third of the way to where our previous operator wanted to get.
mhm,
Unfortunately for them, their operating mines in Nevada meant that they had to stop that work. And so we're doing a lot of engineering design work about the potential to push that into the ore body and take a bulk sample. We could recover significantly more gold than the cost of doing that. And so watch this space over the next quarter as we put that together. We think that's a potential sort of real step change to
mhm.
de-risk the asset, show the metallurgy at a larger scale, give us the underground platform for infill drilling, and then also to drill deeper because we know the resource is open. So at the moment, we're putting a lot of work and expect to see some updates over the next sort of 6 to 8 weeks
Mhm.
as we show what we'd love to do this year in pushing that decline in and take that bulk sample.
Fantastic. And I guess you have the money also to do so, because I think you received over, what was it, $5.5 million from accelerated warrant exercise, right?
Yeah, 5.2. Given you still have to be creative in these markets where cost of capital is high. And so we had um, a large number of warrants at 30 cents, and we were trading at high 20s. And so we talked to our biggest shareholders about, instead of doing a financing that would add another round of shares and a whole another unit or half a unit potentially, can we be a bit more innovative? And so to take in, the 5.2 million with a small incentive of the third of a warrant at 40 cents. Really helped clear up some of that warrant overhang, kept our structure very tight, and significantly added to our treasury for the financing to do the PEA, to look to do that drill program. To be clear, the decline work, we're currently looking at options that don't involve equity, self-funding through the gold that we could recover. So that's a non-equity pathway that we're exploring there, but we'll be very busy with the funding that we have on the PEA and looking forward to resource drilling restarting.
So, but yeah, I think one advantage is also that you know the shareholders already.
It helps to have
Yeah.
good deep-pocketed shareholders.
Exactly, they are fully aligned. Yeah, that's perfect. I have also one more question regarding, let's say, Mexico as a mining country, because I heard from several sources here in Switzerland also that, yeah, there is a probably new mining code. There is, I think, also new mines and energy minister, and it's getting more tricky to get permits and to really get even a mine permit. I don't know what is the truth now. I just heard it, so I thought I want to ask you, because you work there, and also with the surface rights and the mineral rights, does that all work well for you? What is your experience?
Yeah, so last year the government changed the mining law.
Hmm.
Right now we're in the middle of an election campaign in the middle of this year. So there's a lot happening in Mexican politics for those watching. I think it's fair to say that those law changes overall were negative for mining. I think you see that around the world,
Mm.
continually eroding the ease to build mines around the world. And
Hmm.
so we're in a unique situation in that we have our open pit permit.
Hmm.
So we're to a large degree insulated from those changes, to a very significant degree. We own or have 30-year access agreements for all the surface rights.
Hmm.
So you're seeing some constitutional challenges to those laws being successful now. So I think there's a lot more to be written before they become the enduring law of the land.
Hmm.
Perversely, it means a project like Ana Paula actually becomes more valuable because of the
Hmm.
permits and the land access that we
Hmm.
have. So it hasn't really impacted us, but I think it's fair to say overall it has had an impact on many explorers in particular in Mexico.
Definitely. So now you said about the open pit. What does it mean when you go underground? Does that also work for, or do you need the separate mineral rights? Because I think that is separated in Mexico, right?
Yeah, very good question. So no, the concept, the principal concept around permitting anything, particularly mines in Mexico, is around surface disturbance. So to have your open pit permit, you've obviously got a much larger footprint than you need for an underground mine.
Hmm.
So we do propose to put a modification into our permitting this year. That's just to move where the plant site. We don't need it on the edge of where the pit would be. We would like it at where the decline comes out. And
Hmm.
so our portal, our decline is permitted. Um, we actually propose in our modification for a reduced footprint of disturbance. Those are still routinely getting granted in Mexico. They take 9 to 12 months. There's multiple examples of those getting awarded in the last 12 months. So we will go through that. We expect it to be a fairly routine process. Yeah, if you were starting a new open pit today, you might have some challenges. But
Hmm.
fortunately for us, the design that we have for Ana Paula um, is what's currently being preferred in permitting in Mexico. So it makes our life a bit easier. And we're fortunate that we're in that position.
Okay, super. Make life easier. That's always good. And yeah, we wish you well for that. And I would say we see us at PDAC at your booth for an update then, because there should be hopefully then already again news out. And Charles, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. It's going to be a busy year, so we look forward to it.
It looks like. Thank you. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that was Charles Funk, the CEO of Heliostar Metals, and you heard it. They are moving towards production, and yeah, the resource estimate is fantastic. The high grade panel is growing. Yeah, paying easily for the capex of the mine, and even it will be much better in the future here also. So they are moving really forward to the PEA, and yeah, I would say check out the company. Thanks for watching us. Bye bye from Switzerland.